Hi, Isaac. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you. And
Excellent.
thank you so much for speaking with us on You're Not Alone conversations.
Thanks so much for having me on.
And for everyone who's watching our conversation today, today is a very special episode because exactly a year ago, Isaac and I were in Colombo when the Sri Lanka Easter attacks happened. And Isaac at that time was the manager at the hostel I was staying at. And he was basically the rock that held all of us together and made sure that none of us were stressed or even anxious during that time. And it was because of him that we actually got through that entire episode of a curfew and a lockdown situation that had happened. So thank you, Isaac, for then and for talking to us right now. So exactly a year ago, we were in a similar situation where we were under a curfew. And now again, because of coronavirus, we're again in a lockdown. So how's it going for you?
It's going well. I mean, it's a different circumstance to how it was, but it's very, very similar. So a lot of similarities to kind of fall back on.
Right.
But it's going quite well. Obviously, it's been a bit of an adjustment for
Hmm.
billions of people across the UK and probably billions of people across the world by this point to
Right.
suddenly be out of work, to have to change their kind of entire social
Right.
things. But it's going all right, yeah.
I mean, at
That's
least
what it is.
we have social media, right? Like
Yeah,
during the
this
curfew and
time
during
we've
the
got social media, we've got
yeah,
the Facebooks, we've got the Twitters, we can still post
at least we can
pictures
talk.
of our cats on Instagram. You know, we're good. We've got the important things this time.
I agree. But how's the lockdown been for you right now, though? Have you been able to take away from your experience then and sort of use it now?
I mean, there are bits that you can kind of take from the events in Sri Lanka and kind of move to this, and it's a lot of that is just the fact you are going to have to adjust. It's just there's I'm not quite sure how to say it, but you just kind of have to you got to accept it, and that's one of the big things I like in Sri Lanka. It's happening, deal with it, and just work out how you're going to deal with it. And I feel I was really well situated to kind of be in that mindset from the start with this. So when they announced it when Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, went on TV
Hmm.
and he announced the lockdown, I was at my friend's house at the time, and
Yeah.
my friends just instantly started to flap. They always kind of looked at me and were like, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "It's the second one in 12 months, like whatever, whatever. I'll go home when I go home." And I went home that night, and then I've been following it since because it is important to follow, and it is very important to follow this lockdown. I
Yeah.
think globally, slightly more so than it was. Well, we followed it in Sri Lanka
We had to.
for the
We
most
were
part.
supposed to.
Yeah,
I mean, the cops
yeah.
came at night and made sure that we were all inside the hostel and like checked our IDs, right?
We did break the curfew once to go and find the dog.
I forgot. She needed to be found. I'm
Yeah, the
sorry.
dog needed to be found.
Um, but tell me something. Like I remember when we were in a lockdown in Colombo, in the curfew in Colombo, we all sort of banded together and we
Yeah.
were playing so many games. I think I've become so much better at carom now just because of the curfew in Sri Lanka.
Oh, I am still dreadful at Callum, but that's still a vast improvement to how I was. So yeah,
But I think it also like sort of helped us understand that we have to keep ourselves busy and our minds occupied.
completely.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's about finding. Sorry, carry on.
go on, go on.
Oh no, it's about finding things to do. So I've taken up calligraphy. I suck at it. I'm really really bad. I refuse to show you any of my work because it's dreadful. But it's something to do, and I can sit down for like an hour and just mess around with some pens and some ink, and
Yeah.
it's keeping me busy. It's keeping my mind active. A lot of people are posting on Facebook at the moment about how everyone should come out of this having written a book or having learnt a new instrument or a new language. And if
Yeah.
you don't do that, then it's a case of lack of motivation, not a lack of time. I do disagree with that completely.
I do.
People don't need to put themselves under anything near that much pressure.
I
Just
agree.
make sure you're keeping yourself happy. So play a board game with some family. Read a book that you've read 1,000 times before, but it makes you happy. So read it again. If you want to learn a new language, learn a new language, but don't put so much pressure on yourself to be fluent in it by the end, but learn some sentences, just kind of make your way through it. It's about taking it a day at a time and a step at a time. And it's about not being overwhelmed by all of it.
I completely agree, and I couldn't have said it better, Isaac. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you so much again. And I hope people who are watching us and who've been in similar situations like us as well, who've been in other curfews or lockdowns around the world, and this is their second time, I hope you all know that we're all on the same boat, and we're all trying to keep ourselves happy. And even if this is your first lockdown, please listen to what Isaac said. Please keep yourselves occupied. Please don't get so distressed around this, because there is light on the other side. And thank you so much, Isaac. Even though your confession just before this conversation about the cockroach and how you didn't take it out from my room when you said you had is going to give me a nightmare.
I couldn't find it. So for the viewers who are watching, like the full story, okay, it was late one evening and our lovely hostess ran out of her room screaming because there was a cockroach in her bathroom. So I bravely volunteered, I will go and get rid of this cockroach. Went into the bathroom, I was battle ready, I had a sword, a shield, ready to fight a dragon. Couldn't find it, so I decided just to tell her I did. And I just thrown it out a window.
That's what nightmares are made of. That's exactly what nightmares are made of.
Yeah, but it worked. You've been calm for 12 months.
Thank you so much for being so strong and so brave last year, exactly a year ago. And thank you again for coming on You're Not Alone. Please stay safe.
Yeah, always.
And talk to you in a bit. See ya.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.